Welcome to the event series, Paul Allen. How are you doing?
Doing great. Thank you for having me.
So I want to talk to you a little bit about a series that's been happening, and we've got two more coming up, the 903 Sunset series. So I know you've had a big part of that, as have DeadCat. We're super grateful to be a part of it. So kind of give us a rundown. How did it start? What is it? Who's involved in it?
It has been an undertaking, I'll tell you that. This is something that had been talked about for over a year and a half. And we finally decided that let's just try it. And went to our executive board and said, hey, this is something that we want to do. And without their blessing and trust that it would work, it never would have happened. And so when they gave me the okay, it started. Joe Kyle Varner was able to book some amazing acts, got DeadCat Media on board. So with that, once the acts were booked, we started reaching out for sponsorships because we started this with $0, which was a concern in the very beginning. Went to the city because we wanted to have it downtown. And so it was just a progress of many people putting in a lot of time, a lot of effort, really a lot of hours in planning this event.
And it started out at first, we didn't really know where. We knew we wanted it, we knew it was going to be free, right? That was kind of always
that was the number one thing.
Free.
We wanted it to be free to anyone that wanted to attend. And so we played with a few different areas. We talked about Bywaters Park. We talked about out at the Civic Center, but everyone wanted it downtown. And so with the lighting project that's going on right now, that was just an added bonus for what we were trying to do.
Like the bump outs and all this work and this vision, I think, for people to be downtown.
Right.
And so how did you feel so the first one was June 23rd.
Right.
What a day. We'll get into that in a minute.
What a day.
But what was it like to see people, to see it downtown full of people? And I know that we have events where it is like that, but in the, recently we've been kind of building this vision and this dream. What was it like? I remember seeing you standing there by the fountain, just kind of looking. What did that feel like?
Yeah, it was good because of all the hard work. And you and Broadway were a big part of that, and Joe Kyle was a huge part of that. My staff was a huge part of that. The city was a part of that. And to look out and see so many people that were there, it was a kind of a relief that the hard work that we put in and the effort, and especially the sponsorships that had made it happen, it was a success, even though we got this downpour on that first night.
Which was not in the forecast.
No, it was not in the forecast. But the amazing thing about that night was even after the show had to be canceled, for 2 hours after the show was canceled, people were still downtown. They were still here. They were still visiting. They were still going and visiting with the food trucks and things like that. So it created an atmosphere that we were very proud of, that we had been a very small part of.
And I felt like, if you go to an event and you're already there and it gets canceled, I mean, that's a bummer, obviously. But I feel like the feedback of people just saying, oh, I enjoyed being downtown. I enjoyed seeing a bunch of people there, running into people, eating downtown. We had food trucks and our restaurants. I don't know. That was just really cool.
It was.
Even in a not ideal situation, to see it completely full of people and people enjoying it.
I mean, it was a very difficult day. It was a very hard day from sun up till midnight, and not to be able to pull off the show, which basically is nobody's fault.
Right.
Absolutely no one's fault. But that vibe that we created or helped create downtown was a win. It was a win.
I agree. So in order to make this happen, I know it's free. And you and I have talked about this. It's free to attend.
It is free.
But there's really only a couple of elements that made it possible, and the biggest one being local businesses.
Local businesses. We, when our executive board said, yeah, go for it, we then started trying to be able to pay for this. because it is free to attend, but when you start talking about having to pay for the stage, having to pay for sound, having to pay for security, having to pay for porta pots, having to pay for just everything that's involved in putting on an event like this, it was, like I said, it was very scary in the very beginning because we started with $0. And then people just started following suit and jumping on board because they believed in what we were doing and they believed in what we were trying to do downtown. And so without our local sponsorships for this event, and we're blessed because all of these people that have sponsored are chamber members. And so I could not be more pleased for our chamber and being able to support them and them supporting this idea that we started with the 903 Sunsets.
Yeah. Well, it's been awesome so far. So you've got 2 done. Cody Canada was awesome. It was packed.
It was, and planning for Cody Canada was easier than the first one. Because we had already been through the setup and putting all the things together and having to move porta potties in the right place and security and things like that. So setting up for Cody Canada was a lot easier. Luckily, I was able to get some Parasite football guys to help me with some of the heavy lifting, and they're coming back again next week.
Good.
So that really helped out, and it was an amazing night. It really was. Nothing but compliments, and we've learned some things from that we're going to change for Tyler Bryant.
So that we had Cody Canada and all the vendors.
All the vendors, yes.
Food trucks and local, and some from out of town, right?
Yes, we did.
So that was awesome to see. I think watching everybody walk around, everybody's asking, where'd you get that? Where'd you get that? What is this? So that was cool. So we've got one more. We had originally 3 lined up. So that was Tyler Bryant coming up. And he's somewhat of a local guy.
He's a local guy. He grew up in Honey Grove and grew up playing the guitar, and I'd say he's hit it big right now. And so we're very fortunate to bring Tyler Bryant in the Shakedown. And so very excited for that. And hopefully a lot of people will show up to see this local young man.
And we've got, I think, Route 82.
Route 82 is going to play before them. And so a lot of people know them. So so come out and see them.
So that was the original lineup. There was 3. We thought, let's do 3 and, see how it grows in the future and all that. Then all of a sudden last week something happened. So let's talk about what's been added.
Well, what we wanted to replay our first show that got rained out. And we did everything we could to make that happen again. And Joe Kyle Varner worked very hard. DeadCat worked very hard promoting what we were trying to do. We ended up booking the Wilder Blue for the 28th.
Yes.
And so some people say, well, who is the Wilder Blue? And all you have to do is mention Zane Williams and they go, oh, I know who that is. And so there's been a real big positive impact on the Wilder Blue coming because they know what kind of songwriter he is and what kind of harmony the Wilder Blue has. So we're excited to have him.
I think Joe Kyle did he mention it kind of like Imagine the Beatles? Is that what he said?
Eagles.
Or the Eagles,
It was
sorry.
more like the Eagles.
Kind of. And if you listened to some of their newer stuff.
And my son-in-law and my daughter have actually have met Zane, and they have talked about, my son-in-law has talked about how well they harmonize together. He says it's unbelievable. And so it got validated from my son-in-law. So it's
That's
good.
all that matters.
That's all that matters because he's a musician himself.
So that's awesome. And we'll have Jared Mitchell Band opening for them. So they're coming back and they play a lot locally. I know everybody loves them. So I'm excited about that. There's kind of I've heard a lot, one lingering question is what is next? Is this a one-time deal? Are we going to see it again in the fall? Is it going to be every summer? What does it look like from here?
I think what we'll do is after these 3 shows that we have, we will get back together with Joe Kyle, with DeadCat Media, with my staff, and we will look at, how things went and what can we do better. And I would like to see it grow. I would like to have it more than 3 times. But with that being said, there's got to be the financial part of putting these events on. So that's going to be a big part of it. but it's definitely something that we would like to see continue. We would like to see some of these things continue in the fall, whether it be at the square or with the Civic Center. Visit Paris wants to continue to bring things in that makes people want to come here.
I want to talk about that. So Visit Paris, I'm familiar with it, obviously, but I know a
Yes.
lot of people aren't. And so it's interesting dynamic to understand how all this works.
Right.
So let's talk a little bit about who is Visit Paris, and what is it?
I would say Visit Paris is a leg of the Visitors and Convention Council, right along with the Lamar County Chamber of Commerce. I would include DeadCat Media in that because y'all have been such a big part in pushing out the things that we're doing for Lamar County, which is all of our events, the Red Bull Pump Track, the 903 Concert Series, the Tour de Paris, the Casey Strong Pump Track for Kids. Everything that we have coming up, Visit Paris is a part of that. And so what we do is we encourage people to come to Paris. But it's a great way to know what's going on. And basically you can pick and choose what you want to do because there are events all the time going on.
I tell people that all the time, especially, and I mean, I hate to point this out, but everyone's like, oh, there's nothing to do in Paris. There's everything to do in Paris. I mean, if you look, I know Broadway and I are constantly going to events to get photos or
Right.
videos or whatever, and we stay tired, as you do too,
Yes.
I'm sure. So it's a cool place to see it digitally on, what's going on. There's always something, whether it be farmers market, biking events, drag boat races,
Right.
something.
There's
Concert series.
There's always something going on. And we continue to look for different things because if you're not a biker, then the biking events don't interest you.
Right.
If you don't like the music, you probably won't attend. So we continue to look for things that will appeal to people in Lamar County.
Yeah.
And so there's always something going on. There's
Oh, for
always
sure.
events planning and things that are new coming into town.
Oh, absolutely.
Always.
It's kind of like an open door, an invitation
It is an
to
open door.
people that are not in Paris, but also just for people in Paris to
Right.
visit your hometown.
Right.
Go
And,
tour
and,
it.
the, and the whole purpose behind everything that we do is to support our businesses in Paris.
Yeah.
And doing whatever we can to bring in new money, to bring in people, or really to steer people that live here.
Yeah.
If you come down to the concerts, come early. Go and visit some of our shops that are open. Visit some of our food trucks. Go to our local restaurants. That's the hidden agenda behind everything we do is to support our local economy
sure.
with Visit Paris and oil.
So thank you so much for everything you guys do, and a little shout out to the chamber staff. I know we work and see all that they do, but man, appreciate them a
Well,
lot.
I'm very fortunate to have people like Gina and Becky
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and Karen and Judy and Randy and Kim. We all work so well together. We're just it's a family. And whatever we can do to work together to make our events better, that's what we're going to do.
Well, thanks. Y'all do a great job.
Thank you for
appreciate
having
you
me.
coming in today on the event series.
You bet. Always thumbs up with DeadCat Media.
Thank you so much. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
See you soon.